the world's largest organism is a forest of cloned trees. When you walk into the Quaking Aspen forest in Utah, you might think that you're surrounded by acres and acres of individual aspen trees that all grew from individual seeds, because where else do trees come from? This is not a forest of thousands of trees. This is actually a forest of just one tree that's been copied over and over again. So apparently there are two ways that trees come into this world. I always thought that there was only one way that new trees come into this world, and that is when two trees love each other. I'm joking. Generally speaking, pollen from a male tree reaches the flower of a female tree, and as a result, that female tree produces a seed. That seed is dropped, rolled, carried by the wind, picked up by a creature, and eventually lands on some soil where it begins to germinate and grows into a mature tree that can live tens, hundreds, or even thousands of years if we don't destroy it. The fact that trees can even live for thousands of years blows my mind. The oldest tree in America is a great bristlecone pine named Methuselah that's estimated to be over 4,000 years old. And it's not just Methuselah. There are different types of trees all over the world that have been alive for thousands and thousands of years. All of these legendary trees have something in common. They all grew from individual seeds, and they all have their own individual root system. So when we say Methuselah is over 4,000 years old, we're talking about one tree with one root system. Apparently, trees can also come into this world by cloning themselves. Cloning is actually nothing new to the world of plants. If you've ever taken a piece of a succulent and used it to grow a whole different succulent, that new succulent is a clone of the original succulent. And if you've ever taken a cutting of a leafy plant like a monstera and used it to grow a completely new plant, that new plant is a clone of the original plant. Trees, as big as they are, do their own version of this. It's not uncommon for certain trees to spread their roots out underground and wait for just the right timing to send up shoots directly from their root system that grow into mature trees. Except these new trees aren't individual trees, they're actually part of that root system. The original tree in this process will eventually die, but the clones live on because the root system will continue to make copies. So when it comes to the Quaking Aspen Forest in Utah, it's actually difficult to say how old this thing is, because each tree can only live about 130 years. We're not talking about the age of the individual trees, we're actually talking about the age of that intelligent root system that stuck around and continued to make copies. That's why this forest is so creepy to me. When you're standing in this forest, you're not just standing on regular ground, you're actually standing on top of one giant organism, and everything you see around you for miles and miles is part of that organism. It's like an ant crawling into the palm of your hand without realizing that all your fingers are connected. Only in this case, your fingers are a forest of over 40,000 trees spread across 106 acres, making you the largest living organism on the planet that can theoretically continue to replenish itself. This forest, this giant organism, is called pando, a Latin word that means I spread.